So we are going to open the meeting tonight at 6:02 on February 3rd with our public budget hearing. So seeing nobody in the public that wants to participate in the budget hearing, but we have to open it anyway, so.
Do you want a motion?
Yes, please.
Make a motion to open?
Second. Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Do you want to keep it open for 2 minutes?
Someone might stumble.
Somebody might come in.
We can, are we not looking at the budget anywhere else? I guess not.
We do talk about it under
Superintendent, yeah. Number 2. C2.
Oh, okay. All right, so we will talk about it later. But if you have questions, Gordon, you want to ask now about it, or we can wait until later? Maybe people will show up.
I guess I can ask now. So I'll give this to Christine. Sorry. I was running out of paper. It's not so much quiz.
Okay.
So those are the numbers that I pulled off of the spreadsheet on the DESE website, where we have the payments that come back. We have the total adjusted reimbursement.
Okay.
Do we put in the budget that amount of money, or do we not put that amount in
We do put it in the budget, but we'd like to have some for next year, just in case anything does happen. So it's kind of based on how this year goes.
Okay.
So we have to spend it within a year, so anything we do carry over this year, we would have to spend by next year.
On special ed.
A special ed. So we do use it, as you see in the budget, up to 65% usually is what we contribute towards it. And then we actually use more of it if it's a really tough year. And then we see what happens during that year. Because as you know, things can change with one placement. Anything that we do carry over, we then need to spend by the end of that following year.
Okay, so the number that we budget for special needs tuition, does that include the reimbursement money?
It does, it's net of that.
It's
So
net.
if we say we're budgeting, we're using 65% of circuit breaker, that's what this reimbursement. And 65% based on what we calculated to be our eligible amounts, and then we don't know what that reimbursement's going to be. It's been as high as 72-ish, but it has been lower in the past. So we found 65 is kind of our comfort zone of the most that we would budget for. So when we budget for 2021, we're budgeting 65% of what we believe we'll be eligible for.
Okay, so the question, the reason why this is coming up is because I've been diving deep into the Chapter 70 funding. So when you look at the funding numbers that they have still just 1% of the enrollment is out of district special needs placement. So the numbers that they have for the foundation, I'm trying to compare if we're within the budget that we vote on, is the $500,000 in that expense, or are we as a committee spending more than that and getting reimbursed that percentage?
All right, so what you presented to me, this is FY19
Yep.
actual information, and then we were receiving funding for it this year. So when we were preparing the FY20 budget, we looked at what do we believe, what amount would be eligible for circuit breaker reimbursement. And we do use that to offset the budget. So the budget for this FY20 included, if we had income over 18, and then we were expected to receive this year based off of last year.
Okay, so the number that we're using is actually less than the total that we're spending, because that circuit breaker money is not listed as revenue here.
Correct. It's not. It's netted against the two out-of-district special education tuition amount.
Okay, so,
We take all of our tuitions, we then reduce that by what we expect to receive in circuit breaker.
okay. So the only reason why I'm asking that is the numbers that we have listed don't include the circuit breaker number. So I was trying to understand,
The numbers that we have listed here.
so our budget here, there's a portion that we don't have listed in this budget that we're spending, because this is just the amount that we're getting from the town, correct?
Correct. That is the only piece that we're paying on the operating budget. Correct.
Okay, so we are spending more, even more than what this budget says.
So where you'll see is the lines floating around, there'll be some that come out of the operating budget, the special education tuition, and some comes out of circuit breaker. The circuit breaker has to be kept separate.
Yeah.
But when we budget, we keep that in mind, we're going to be getting those additional revenues. So the amount that's on the operating budget is the net amount after you reduce the circuit breaker.
Okay, so I was just,
At the end, what I do, I'll look into the end of the year report, I am adding what we paid out of the operating budget and what we paid out of the circuit breaker funds.
okay. I just want to get more involved. So DOR and DESI are going to have stakeholder meetings this year to talk about the Chapter 70 funding, and they're going to be redoing the formula. So I just was trying to understand all the revenue and all the expense to make sure that we actually get credit for the amount that we're actually spending. Because when I dove into the formula, when you get state aid for the town side, they include that in the municipal growth factor. So when they give you a portion of money over there to spend on the town, they expect a portion of that money to be spent on the school too, if you look at the formula.
That's interesting.
Yep. So
It is very complicated. It's amazing to
I
me
can't imagine.
the level of detail it gets here.
yeah. So I was just trying to understand that, and I figured I could ask. So thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
She would know.
It does. Thank you.
What would we do without you?
About both of them, yeah.
Motion to close the public budget hearing.
Yeah. Oh,
Is that your motion?
is that your motion to close it? All right,
Yeah.
second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We now need to adjourn the public budget hearing to open our regular meeting. So I need a motion for that.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
No fighting, boys. Okay, all those in favor of adjourning the public budget hearing to open regular meeting?
Aye.
Okay. Aye.
Aye.
Good evening, everyone. So now we call the regular meeting to order at 6:10. Thank you, Area 58, for filming. And first, we sing the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't see anybody in the audience who'd like to be acknowledged or scheduled at this time. However, I would like to acknowledge that this is Ms. Prue's first meeting as our official superintendent, and we also have Ryan Lynch here, who is our new assistant superintendent. So welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
It's going to be a stellar team, and we're happy to have you on board, Ryan, and we're very confident in Jill's ability to keep the ship afloat, so.
Thank you. We're excited to spend our very first day here.
I know, this is it, day one.
It's Ryan's very first day. It's actually your very first day as superintendent, so.
Yes.
I
Day
guess
one.
we're lucky.
She said that's her first day of school outfit.
Adorable. There are regular session meetings for our last meeting, which was January 6th, floating around. So I need a motion to approve them as long as anybody doesn't see any reason to amend them.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are we holding these executive session or no? Do we need to?
I think we could,
Because everything's
we
all
could
set, right?
release them because
They're
we
done
voted
with
them, yeah.
negotiations. Yeah, okay. So I need a motion to
It's all
complete.
complete.
Yeah.
Do we have to vote that in public session, their actual contracts? I know we voted to accept them in executive. Do we have to vote them in public?
I don't know that you've ever done that before.
Yeah, I don't remember doing that before either.
Okay, just a question.
I don't think so.
If that is the case, we can do it next meeting because we still have,
I'll double check.
Yeah.
yeah, because I don't remember doing that with the teachers or anything
Yeah.
before,
I don't
right?
either.
I don't think so, but I will double check so
Yeah,
that we
just in
can
case, yeah.
make amends on our next agenda.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so I need a motion to approve and release the executive session minutes from January 6th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I have a question.
Out of
Do we have
order.
any word back from Fred or the teachers union?
Not yet,
Okay.
not yet. February 10th, we're meeting with the custodians for girls. And I spoke with Fred today, and he said he needed more time. He hoped to get back to me today with some more dates.
Okay. Okay, February 10th at 3.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. You're skipping ahead, Bob.
Oh, it's good.
But the Silver Lake teachers, we don't have dates with Fred yet.
Okay, there are warrants in front of me. I will circulate them. And a few of us went and signed payroll.
Those are payroll warrants, if you needed three, you know. So we're going to want to save those signature ones.
In terms of correspondence and reports, we did receive an email request from the Halifax Teachers Association to open negotiations for their contract. So as Jill just mentioned, she has been in contact with Fred, and dates will be set hopefully in the near future. I think they're kind of anxious to get the ball rolling, so we all know that can be quite a lengthy process sometimes. So that should be fun for you guys. I don't have any unfinished business. Anybody else? No. Okay. New business? I don't have any. Okay.
Possibly, we hope to have the calendar for next meeting
yeah.
and for your review, the draft of the calendar, and also hopefully a budget vote if we don't vote tonight.
That reminds me, calendar, I did receive an email from the town clerk. Did I forward it to you? Probably
voting?
not. Yeah, about having the,
We're going to try to have our
Yeah.
professional development day on election day, if that's what you're.
In November.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And making it like a yearly thing
And
because I
it
think
makes
it's
sense
fun.
even for some of the smaller elections because
Absolutely.
it's difficult with the traffic.
What about the September one that they have?
That's the primary. So yeah, they are in school then, aren't they?
Yeah.
And we have school presidential primary too.
Whitman Hanson did propose to not have students go that day, just so you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should probably have that conversation because it's, especially in a presidential year, it's going to be very busy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they have school for the
This
presidential primary and their special election. for
Yeah.
That's not
No.
Halifax, that's Kingston, sorry. So it'll be definitely the 3rd though, March 3rd.
Yeah, Whitman Hanson does not have school this year, on March 3rd. It's a teacher professional day.
What we do. Right?
Yep.
Yep.
You prepared for that? It's a nightmare always, but
He made a face. Yes, we are.
Can we have the camera moved over to get that face again?
Get their reactions. It's gonna be a fun one.
all right, so we'll put calendar under.
Yeah.
Standing committee's policy did not meet.
We did not meet, but we have received a lengthy list of proposed policy changes from MASC. So as soon as possible, we're going to review those, put those together, and schedule a subcommittee meeting.
Okay. Fun.
It's a long list. I'm
Great,
sorry.
that's wonderful. So fun.
Summer and Alex.
Who was on that with me?
Summer and Alex. I was
Alex,
looking,
okay.
yeah.
All right, so I'll keep an eye out for that. Negotiations?
February 10th for the custodians at 3 o'clock here. And Silver Lake teachers will be to be determined.
Okay. PAC?
They're meeting this Thursday,
Okay.
so they didn't meet last month either, since they moved buildings.
I don't really have an update for youth and rec other than town basketball's underway, and that's pretty much about it. PTO, Alex is not here, he's the liaison, he did attend the meeting, he said it was kind of uneventful in terms of any like new news coming out. He mentioned that they talked about the Gaga Ball situation, and I don't know if you want to add anything else from that meeting, or? You mentioned there was some talk about what they were going to do with the money that they raised, but I think there's nothing
Yes.
definitive yet. They were just kind of talking about the potential
We're
of
reaching out, told grade levels to reach out to see if available funds for any further enrichment. So just let teachers know, and also wanted items from teachers, once again, they want those requests. So just they have money.
Okay, cool.
Actually, we're doing the booster fund next year.
Skip it.
4.
We're pushing it, so the PTO talk with us about having that be like one of their big fundraisers, because it does kind of bring a good amount of money, but we were only scheduled to do it in the springtime. We've been asking Boosterthon to move us to the fall, so we had to skip this year's cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next year, we're looking at getting it
In the fall.
in the fall.
Okay.
So that would be one of the big fundraisers.
Do you have a prize, a goal for the fundraising, or is that to be determined? Like, we've done the playground now, so I didn't know if...
To be determined.
Okay.
We've also talked about improving the kindergarten structure as well.
Yeah.
Structure.
Sand.
It's like sand.
Sand.
Oh, the little, yeah. Yep, outside, yeah.
It's not good enough there.
No, you're right. That's right, there are 3 playgrounds back there, aren't there?
Matt would be happy if the sand wasn't coming into those rooms anymore.
It's just a strange setup, because it has a huge pad of asphalt and then covered by sand. And it's just, the sand just goes right into the building.
Mm-hmm.
Students putting it right into their classroom, so.
Right, 'cause they
That
live
has
at
to go
their
out there,
doors,
yeah.
with the leaf blower gloves and.
Okay. Okay, so capital budget, I guess that's sort of all rolled into the budget discussion that we are going to have. Admin review, we met, but
We did for contract reasons, but nothing since then.
Union 31,
Same.
yeah. Evidence is sitting to my right. Yeah, right. All right, Mr. Beaudry, you're up. We're just gonna go through this quick tonight. Not messing around, it's like Bob's running the meeting.
58 minutes.
Okay, we have 588 students right now, and after break, we will be at 590 students.
Oh,
And as for those.
Oh, come on.
Starting at it, one in third,
Stop.
one in kindergarten. So,
Oh, so it's neck and neck.
yes, it really is. We're looking at that for after 19 students.
Of course. Okay.
And we had progress reports that went out on 27. Those are, we perform that. Our typical progress is all electronically. We have sent out our school counseling survey as well. That went out on 28. And the last time
I
I
wonder
checked,
who reads those
somewhere
comments.
between 60 and 75 responses to start off.
that's quick. Didn't that just go out?
I did it.
Yes.
I did it.
Who gets to read the comments?
Well, our school council,
Nice, good. That's what you were hoping for, right? Yeah.
I wonder if, and sometimes I have parents just put in like special messages just to Ryan and I, so that they check to see if we're
Yeah.
actually-
Are you really reading this? Yeah.
So,
I like that.
we have to make sure.
So there's a filter that happens?
Yeah. So it's good, our school improvement plan is up, so we want to make sure that we get as many responses as we can, so that we can move further than our next school council. And for the parents, where it's kind of neat, because we can just keep bumping up.
Yeah, I noticed that today.
See at the
Yeah.
top of your parents' square feed, we're trying to get people to just do it.
Yeah.
Because we want to close it kind
I
of
did
over
notice
for a
that.
week, and then as much as we can. People keeping it open for Wednesday.
I'm signing both places.
That's fine. I see that.
Benchmarks we have, the second week of January. So we do a lot of community year benchmarking using STAR testing, and so we can take a look at our groupings. Do some of the interventions that we're doing. Goes off, we have the meetings that we have. We go through with our data team, Brian and I sit in with the teachers, go through which students we need to go around, which interventions are working, and which ones are not. Maybe we need to tweak more students at a time. It's actually a pretty good system. Brian's been one of the front runners in beating that up with our data team. I was Sierra conference from It's like, it was a beautiful mind. Writing on the wall, and it's a lot of numbers, but it works out. Wall Street, great stuff. Our goodbye. Gordon, you were there?
Yes, it was very.
Thank you for sending us a picture, by the way.
Yeah, that was great.
It's, so I was explaining to Ryan when we were coming in a little bit, we tried to make it mirror our high school senior walkthrough, the senior parade when we come through. And so if you could picture it, where our students and staff line the hallway down purple and peach up the back and back down the blue. Pretty quick. It's like 5 minutes, high fives. Students have signs and there's music playing. It's a lot of different stuff. It's really good. So Brian and I and Steve, who is the president of the HBA, we coordinated flowers and a Halifax blanket. Really come over Fridays, either like, all right, let's go, let's do this real quick. I think he was planned for 9, but he was right on time. Yeah, she's not here, the ears talking. She hugged
Every single kid.
talked to
Fitting.
every single student in the building.
Stop.
She did.
So it took us like at least 40 minutes.
Oh my God.
And I thought that in the beginning, kindergarten was right at the beginning and the entrance, and I was like, she was went through every little sign, every little flower, every little
Stop.
butterfly that was there.
First graders last 40 minutes later.
They're like,
Where is she?
They were great. Yeah, they were great.
oh my goodness.
It was a
That's
wonderful
really
experience. It was really neat. I really appreciated it.
She was very touched.
It was pretty wild. But,
That's really cool.
I think you guys did a
Whoever
great
took
job.
pictures, yeah, whoever took
You
pictures
did.
and posted them on Facebook, they were awesome.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it was mostly the 5th graders too in the pictures. Yeah, I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was on Facebook. I'll show you one.
Yeah.
I'll look at
I
it.
just got the one
There
picture.
was video, everyone was doing it. It was hugging every staff member too.
Of course.
That's really cool. That's awesome.
It was a good one.
I hope you're a hugger.
I did get a couple of hugs. I think I
You got a hug, kid?
I agree. I don't think I got 3, but Steve was, he might have been double digits.
And he got nanny hugs.
And Matt Turkey, of course.
Yes,
Of
of course.
Okay.
Kane's a little upset. It's okay. It's
There's
all
always
right.
lots of
Oh,
hugging.
somebody's
at
jealous.
negotiations.
I know.
There's lots of hugging in negotiations?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
All the time. That doesn't sound right.
Especially the teachers.
We have MTS 2020, our ELA dates kick off on April 13th. That window's closed on the 1st. Math starts on the 5th. Closed
Give me a water.
and science for grade 5
Thank you.
starts on the 19th. And that's back to back. We're doing infrastructure trials. 2nd of March.
What is that?
Okay.
Oh, you mean like,
We test here.
oh, okay.
Just make sure
I was thinking
everything's-
building, physical building, not Wi-Fi.
No.
You mean like?
Technology.
Okay.
And we do kind of a practice testing. My colleagues set up Chromebooks right now, making sure they're up and running. Our employees working with students, particularly in 3rd grade, it's their first experience with it, so, I mean, they should be fine because our testing is all on Chromebook. We are working, sending out some of our gentle reminders in terms of attendance in that timeframe.
Oh, you said it so nicely this time. Last meeting it was, don't you dare take a vacation during this week.
Well, that and too, like, so Brian and I have been looking at some of the attendance numbers where last year we did not, our accountability rate went down for our attendance rate. So we are really taking a closer look at those students
So are most of those,
Seems like a lot,
like the kids out for,
It is a lot.
right? Is that?
Yeah.
180 days, if you're out 18, it's chronic, and we get,
But I mean, 35 kids, that seems like a lot of kids. That's what I mean.
so is that most of that like long, like more than 5 days because of sickness? Or is it like they miss 2 days a week because something?
And in our research, it's looks like it's been the same.
Percentage was?
Same percentages that are falling on that list.
Oh, same kids.
So we were thinking like we got notice to those families. Because it's, I mean, it is kind of the same form that we've used. Showing them school, there. But now it's, we have
But I mean, you like, if a kid is getting, if a child is close to reaching that benchmark, I mean, you pretty much communicate directly, not with some just standard, I mean, it's like they get a letter and everything, I think, right?
Yeah, they're going out now for anyone that has 7 or more. There's some that are already further along. And I just don't know, people really understand how it impacts the whole school.
Right.
Our accountability.
Thinking about possibly working on the language of the handbook. Language, learning, do something with families, or just not taking that seriously. Don't advocate for retention, but summer school, BCF, that we don't know. We get these unexcused absences, it's really hurting us now, so maybe work on the language, maybe some sort of warning shot for parents.
Are there exceptions to the accountability if like, somebody's sick or somebody's in a car accident, it's been like things like that? Like medical?
So you can contact the state with those types of cases. They're typically reserved for long-term illness. That's documented.
For example, one of our highest attendance issues, one of our 6th graders broke her hip, she had that hair surgery, so she's out for a long period of time, so that'll be another.
Yeah.
So that won't come against us. Doesn't argue us. Right? The doctors and medical, so.
Yeah.
Meeting with parents about setting us meetings, release of time.
Well, you're right, like attempting to, right? You can't force the parents to come to a meeting. You can't force them to, you know. My mother-in-law's a 3rd grade school teacher, and she always says the parents that I need to come to the conferences are the ones that don't come, and the parents that don't really need to come are the ones that are always there, on time, you know? It's like, you can only do so much, right?
Yes. So, hopefully we can work on that.
I don't know if mine have even missed a day yet.
Of course, T-Bone was outside.
T-Bone, he's out, outside.
And then just some upcoming dates, we have any on 6:30.
On the 12th of, I just want to let Alex know, 2/12 at 6:30?
Yeah.
To miss the minute.
14th, there's time on breakfast. And then we have our winter vacation, 17th, 21st. And we have our in-service on Monday after vacation.
Thank you. Miss Healy?
Just doing a good job this year. Our budget's $400 million. In the special education section, we are projecting surplus in contract services and transportation. If you look at the financial, there is a deficit in special education tuition. But again, we're on the circuit breaker funds. We try to show everything on here. And as circuit breaker funds, we start to use those funds to pay. So at the end of the year, we're going to do what you think we're looking for the end of the year. And then we still have a surplus in our district location. No other questions? That's amazing. Thank you.
I guess my question is, the line for replacing equipment, do we have that allocated for something specific?
Yes.
I can't remember.
There is a specific, I'm going to check on that. It may have actually come in a little, well, I look at there, 7,300 to 7,400. The 7,300 was still a balance of $698, so maybe that came in a little lower. But 7,400 was allocated for specific items.
Oh, okay.
And it just doesn't happen.
Okay.
Check on that though, see who it is.
It might be.
I think that's because we've transitioned to leasing copiers now.
Yep.
That's what
And the bill just hasn't been paid yet or something?
no.
Right.
It's like at the
It's
end.
end of the year.
Okay, gotcha.
Because it's a different kind of setup. We're not purchasing copiers anymore, we're just leasing them.
Mhm.
I think that's how Ellen has done it.
You get one bill at the end of the year, yeah.
Good goes.
Probably just one bill at the end of the year. That's
Yeah.
probably what it is.
I just couldn't remember from last year. But
Yeah.
That sounds right, copier, I remember having
Yeah.
this.
Can I ask a question about the, is our substitute line still okay? Because we had changed the
It's
amount.
funny that it is, substitute is part of one of the accounts that there is no normal. It can be up, it can be down, and this is up to date through end of January.
Substitute.
Yep. We've spent $12,255 so far this year, we still have $38,000. So that's a very good picture on the charges.
Right. I know, you just, I know.
Thank you.
We haven't had a hard time getting stuff, so.
Even with the new rating?
I was just gonna say that.
So as we went up, have the other districts gone up?
Could be. No one wants to be a substitute teacher. It's not a great gig. The best gig. We have a horrible time getting them too, so, yep.
So what happens, I guess, most of those days when you
You
don't
sign
have?
up to be a substitute teacher is what happens.
I'm not signing up for a substitute.
That's what happens.
I can't here.
Oh, yeah, right.
Can't vote my own pay.
Yes, you can. Let's raise it again. That's good. Yeah.
But what happens is it's a.
Brian put on his
5:30
teaching hat.
a.m. text chain that Brian initiates, and we all go back and forth of how we can figure out the conversation.
How many paraprofessionals? Looking at today, kind of fortunate that's the way we have to do it. About 4 adults in there sometimes.
Parents, title, special ed teachers, reading teachers.
Do you guys keep track of how many times you don't have a sub?
Yeah, I think it's on our ASOP profile anyway, so I'm on the board, so we're having a real difficult time making it. I don't know what it is. Last few months.
Okay.
Frustrating. Getting back to the student attendance, we have to start modeling with our teacher attendance, so talking to the teachers a lot. Their attendance is strong, the chances of student attendance are strong, so.
Any other questions for Christine about this financial before we move on to the? Okay. Superintendent, Drew.
Thank you. So I'd like to introduce Brian Lynch. Thank you for your welcome tonight. He's already been partially introduced, but today was our first day together in our new roles. My first day as superintendent, his first day as assistant superintendent. And several months ago, we had planned Understanding by Design training today for our faculty. So we had a training taking place today. So today, Ryan participated in that training with staff for much of the day, And so tomorrow, our plan is to go out and visit all the schools and introduce ourselves to students and staff. And we'll also be working on an opportunity to invite the community and teachers, students who may want to come after school to meet us and get to know us as well. So that will be coming up, hopefully before the end of the month. But we do plan on visiting all the schools tomorrow.
Awesome.
That's okay today.
It was a really good first day to work with elementary, middle, and high school teachers, about 30 teachers on curriculum work, and there was really positive energy. And like I've said before, the more I've learned about each of the towns in the district and the staff that work here, it's made me very excited to be part of Halifax and part of Silver Lake. So I appreciate this opportunity, and I'm excited for what's to come.
Awesome. Good to have you.
So in your packet, you'll see a K through 6 private and parochial school chart and a charter school enrollment chart for K through 6. And that can go on the left-hand side of your budget folder. But enrollment in parochial and private schools is down in Halifax since 2019. It's decreased by 3 students. Since 2013, it's decreased by 7 students. And if you look at the overall totals across all elementary schools, from 2013 at 89 students at one time attending private schools, down to 36 students attending private schools. So private school enrollment is down for our district. Charter school enrollment has remained the same since last year. And overall, though, it's increased since 2013. It's increased to 3 students in total. And if you notice, in general, the increase in charter school enrollment for all schools, grades K through 6. Part of the reason we think why the number has increased is we have more responses this year from the charter schools than ever before. We actually have to reach out to the charter schools to get this information and to compile it. And so we actually think we have more accurate numbers this year than perhaps in the past.
Gotcha.
So although the numbers in Halifax have remained the same, we think we have more accurate numbers than before. But again, we're reliant on the charter schools to respond, and that's why this chart usually comes a little bit later, because we keep trying to get more data from them. There is also a summary of changes in your packet, as well as version 2. So talking about some of the changes in version 2 of the budget that you will see, the paraprofessional salary line has been updated to reflect the new contract. The shared cost budget was voted, and so you'll see an increase there where the nurse leader was approved and added. And overall, you will see an increase of 2.29%. Since the last time, just a reminder that we were asked to prepare a level service budget. Christina's already mentioned that circuit breaker was anticipated at 65%. Special education reflects our current anticipated needs. With out-of-district vocational, that we have 4 students graduating, and what we have in this budget is 3 openings, 3 slots in case students decide to go out of district. That deadline is April 1st. We anticipate having $27,000 at the end of this year to go back to the towns because of a decrease in transportation, if I recall correctly. We have a placeholder in right now for transportation, and we anticipate going out to bid soon. We have no known retirements since the last budget to update you on. What I did want to mention to you as you look at version 2 of the budget, and then the detail of the budget, which is also in your packet, is that there was a retirement at Dennett Elementary School. Their music teacher is retiring. And they are considering adding an additional 0.2 FTE to their music teacher because of the savings. full-time equivalency.
Oh, okay.
So instead of teaching .4, the teacher would be .6 and teach 3 classes, for example, if it were structured that way. So it's
These specialists are all .4 for the dead element, just because of their population.
so they're thinking about increasing it by .2 because they wanted to allow or offer band in their upper grades 5 and 6, and they can do this because of the cost savings, because of the retirement, and so they're considering doing this. The reason why I'm doing this to you now is because I know that Kingston has band and has introduced band this year, and their program is doing very well. Dennett is looking to do this for next year, and I just want to make sure that you're aware of these changes because I know that you want the same opportunities for students in Halifax. One of the things that may benefit Halifax and Dennett is that by advertising for adding a .2 to the Halifax budget of $12,000, if you decided to do that, it would mean that you could begin to offer band as a potential, and you would, going out with just a .2, you're not going to get many people who are interested, but if you shared that position with Dennis, so that the total position was a .8, I know this is, I'm talking competitive.
Yeah, no, you're making
sense.
I'm with you.
You might
Gotcha.
attract a higher quality
Right,
candidate.
so they spend .6 at Dennett and .2 here.
Just something to consider. I wanted to mention it now because it was discussed at Dennett, and I know it already exists in Kingston. So if we assumed $60,000 for a teacher, .2 would be about $12,000.
So that's currently not in this budget?
That is not in the budget. We were asked to prepare a level
Right.
service.
Thank you for doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just something that I wanted to mention to the committee in case that was something that interested them. And Christine and I will be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
So those are your things.
My wheels are turning too. So we share tech with, we also share, right? The technology with Dennett?
That's a shared cost through Silver Lake.
So it's different budget lines.
Different setup, but the other positions that we show that are shared, as part of the shared cost budget.
And one of the things you might want to notice on the detail is the shared cost has gone down because the enrollment is down. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, who's what all the shared costs are not received. This year it's gone down to Halifax because of their enrollment.
Okay. So even though we added
Correct.
it's
But what happened is,
the net or the overall for Halifax is
the
not
overall
enough.
Find it within the budget?
is greater.
Well, we kind of just did,
Most of
because
the
our shared
accounts
cost is
for
down.
our office and the special education.
Our shared cost is down because our enrollment is down.
But if you went to that new
Ask.
section that we had, the
She just said that.
4400 section,
She
that's
just
the
said
funds and accounts that we want to be able to share. They're previously were not shared.
Is it possible to find the money within the budget?
And not the shared cost?
No, within this budget, I'm guessing he's asking.
About the band.
Within our
Yeah.
operating budget to fund,
So what we would do is that if that was something of interest to you, we would go back to Kane, Melissa, Steve, Christine, and sit down and think about, what we could,
Do all of
how
our,
we could make that a priority and weigh our other expenses.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
Is this a priority for all of you, this position? Is this something you guys have discussed as a group, or no, because it's your first day?
not to put you on
no,
the
'cause
spot or
you're new.
anything.
So it was mentioned. It has not been, as you recall, there was the information that was prepared, that was shared with the committee. So it's not as if it hasn't been considered. We haven't gone too far in that process because, again, we wanted to prepare a level service budget. I think, thinking about opportunities for children and thinking about how nice it would be for them to have instrumental lessons, I don't think anyone would argue against that. Again, it could very well come at the cost of something else in the budget. So that's why I say I would want to go back to the team, people who helped put the budget together to think about what impact that would have if we needed to cut 12,000.
Okay.
And Kingston is definitely keeping it, and Dennett is definitely going to have it. They were,
I can't promise you that they're definitely.
because they haven't voted on their budget yet.
Right.
Okay. Okay. But they feel like they can find the money
Yes.
because of the retirement.
Yes.
So the finding the money isn't the problem for them. Okay.
So Mike,
I thought our portion was 0.4.
You could go as high as .4, but that way we'd have to, I'm going to be looking at 24,000. .4 would allow you probably to do 5 and 6. Is that what the goal was? I can't remember. Sorry.
I think that's the proposal.
Originally, I thought it was
Yeah.
0.4. Yeah.
So we could, if we did .4, we would be looking at 24,000.
so
That
Mike,
we would either increase the budget or we would need to take from the budget in order to bring it back down to the same percentage increase.
my Silver Lake hat says it would be a good idea. My selectman hat says we asked for a level service budget, so.
Our specialists right now, they're all a full-time position, correct? And they have students every period of the day.
This is what they're, few open spots throughout the week. Just logistically.
Would it be unreasonable to ask our current music teacher to take on the task of having band? I know she does chorus and she's over, I'm not,
We filled those, like, open blocks, of chorus, Mr. Ruiz teaches health during those open blocks, Ms. Tebow teaches folk club during those open blocks. So it's not like they're getting periods off, they are being utilized, but Ms. Lassard does spend a lot of time in chorus, so for the winter concert and the spring concert, so I don't know.
so I guess, because this band would be part of the school day, correct? Like, this isn't an after-school activity, band would be part of the school day. So I guess logistically, do you see that being an issue with finding the block for it?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
okay. So that should be part of the discussion, I think.
I think it's difficult with any school who have one. I mean, my daughter had drums in the middle of the day in Situate. She had to be pulled out of something. Carrying a big giant drum set, and this is, but it is really something that you have to realize that it's during the day, something has to.
You find a way to make it work. So I guess also, band comes with the expense of the instruments, right? So where does that expense get covered? So we're talking 12,000 or 24,000 for the teacher, but what about the equipment needed? Where does
I
that?
can donate a drum.
There we go. Done.
And it's, no, like,
Right, typically it's rental.
Okay, okay.
Typically it's rental. I don't know where you stand philosophically on that, but in most programs it's,
So it essentially would be taking what we offer after school right now and just offering it during the day. So then what are we doing with our after-school band situation? Eliminating it?
that's private. That school doesn't fund that.
Right, I know. I understand that.
So I don't
But are we
think-
going to run both of them now?
Sounds like from the proposal, it wouldn't cover the kids in the lower grades. So the kids in the lower grades would still definitely have to do the after-school program.
Point two or.
So the kids that do the band now, that play at the winter concerts and stuff, are the kids that do the after-school. They're typically older anyway. I have mixed feelings about this, and this is why. Because for a couple of years now, our teachers have come to us and told us that they need math support, and here we are talking about band. And I know it's 0.2 versus like even a 0.5 or a full-time, but it just rubs me funny, and I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way, but. And I'm a big believer in like enrichment activities and not just academic all day long. But I guess priorities is what I'm getting at. What are we prioritizing here? Band during the school day, or do we feel this math support is needed and also a priority, or I think that should be part of the conversation. And I don't have that answer because I'm not a teacher in the building and I'm not an administrator in the building, but.
So KIS is currently offering band during the school day, and Dennett is considering it. I mention it because of the opportunity where kind of it's an opportunity where you might be able to actually find someone
To
and
do
they're-
the
when they're
position.
only-
Yeah.
When they're only part-time. Again, I'm not saying it's an easy decision. There are lots of competing interests in the budget, so.
Can you guys give us your recommendation at the next meeting on whether or not that you could find a block that would work?
We can do that.
And some money?
And
And do you want to add?
if you can find the cost within the budget, let us compare,
Or even some of the cost?
or a portion of the cost, or,
Does Dennett also, back to the math thing, does Dennett have any need for, do you know offhand, if they have any need for any extra support in terms of specialists in math or even?
I don't recall that that was part of any of their.
No. Okay.
They're looking
So do you
to
want-
add a special education teacher.
do you,
They what?
They're looking to add a special education teacher.
Full-time?
Yes.
They are, is that what you said? They're looking to?
so if you guys go back and look at the budget, can you give us,
We can make a recommendation to you. What we'll do is first we'll meet with Kane and think about how this would work and weigh the pros and cons. And then based upon that, reach out to the other groups to see what, if anything, would need to be cut
okay.
in order to make that happen.
Could you also look at some math support and see what your thoughts are on that and let us know? Because we've talked about that, like Summer said, for the last few years.
Well, that, and we also have, concern with growing class sizes, and if there's any way we could potentially, I don't know how easy it would be to hire somebody that would be a specialist, but also be like an aide in the classroom for some of the bigger, you're talking about almost a full position here, but I just feel like if we're gonna do little things here, maybe all those little things would add up to be that one person that would alleviate kind of what I see as a bigger issue that we're faced with right now, but it really boils down to finances, obviously, and priorities for our community.
The finances of a full-time position are going to be really
Are
tough.
far away, yeah, for sure.
So we'll get together and we'll put together a proposal with some options, and we'll also reflect in that what the cost of that would be.
Okay.
Not just financially, but what we would propose eliminating as a result of it.
Can we talk about this sheet for a second?
Yes, that's
From Melissa?
Melissa.
So I just want to look at the sheet in terms of need versus want, I guess. So some of it on here looks like it's like we need obviously to update our curriculum, right?
Yes.
So like Reading Street, we need that,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm still looking.
No, that's fine.
Where is it?
It's right in your left. Right, your left hand.
Left.
Look at that while you stop. Put that whole little package over. It's right there.
There it is. Thank you.
So many papers.
Yes. All right, now I'm with you.
We've been talking about the social studies curriculum because we've done math in the past, so that's kind of a need, right, to update that. Okay.
Yes.
So that's third grade, and then underneath it is for fifth grade. So that's also a need.
Yes.
This, I'm assuming, because typically when we do multi-year subscriptions, it ends up being significantly more cost-effective to buy them this way than to buy them yearly.
Yes.
Okay, so we're keeping that. Same thing with this grade 6 math?
Yes.
And our teachers are happy with the program that they're using?
This is their,
Because then, isn't this one of the ones that we
This is-
piloted?
Yes, this is one of the ones that we piloted, and if I recall, this is our first full year of implementation, so yes, and they've had some training this year as well to help support them, so.
And they're like sold on this is what they want in terms of moving forward, if we're gonna do a multi-year subscription?
Yes, that was the result of the pilot,
Grade 6.
not grade 6. This is
Not
their,
grade 6.
this is actually the one that's different because this is the one that's aligned with the.
Middle
Middle
school,
school,
that's
this
what
is
I
big
thought.
ideas.
This is the ideas.
Yeah.
So this one's staying, for sure, like this is what we picked and this is what is,
I think they're approaching the end of their subscription.
With big ideas.
The big ideas.
but
So
if we're
I think there
approaching,
needs to be some thinking what's going to happen.
This might be,
Middle
so I
school's
think he's
looking
saying
at-
this might be the last year of the subscription.
I think we're
For
approaching.
big ideas.
but
for
if that's the
sixth grade.
case, why are we buying a multi-year subscription?
No, I think they're just saying
It's part of.
it is part of the multi-year.
Oh,
Yes.
There's no way a
this is the
multi-year
last
subscription is
payment
12
of the-
grand.
Oh, I gotcha,
Yeah.
okay.
I think they're just saying it is a multi-year.
End of our.
So then we're gonna be revisiting the math curriculum moving forward.
At least for sixth
For
grade.
sixth grade.
85 is new.
Right.
85 is all.
Sixth is aligned.
That was the big one we did last year, like the $75,000, okay, new textbook.
That was the K to 5 one.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So is that how most subscriptions work, are K to 5 and
Yeah.
then 6 to 8
lot, most
or
of them, yeah.
12?
A lot of times it's sixth graders are in middle school.
Yeah. They could kind of go either way.
K to 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not linear. That's sixth grade.
It is. I like it.
So when we've all talked in the past about how we like the STAR assessment situation, and it's very beneficial to our teachers in implementing classroom, okay, so that stays. So this top one though, that's like, so what I'm looking for, enhancement
It's
materials?
enrichment.
Enrichment materials, so technically not part of the curriculum, but
And-
we would like these because.
Yes, and unfortunately, it's the area that Melissa tends to have to cut every year because it.
I know, it's like the library, same
Yeah.
thing with the library, we always cut the library stuff.
So my suspicion is that
Yeah.
that's where she would choose to pull money from if we ask her to do so.
She would pull it from there.
That's what I'm getting at.
That's my anticipation.
The top one, which is like enrichment materials.
And all of those items there are definitely things that are being utilized.
Oh, I believe
Those
it.
are our ways that we provide interventions for students. And
Magazines, the ESGI.
Extra supports.
kindergarten, History, science, throughout the building, where it revises.
Oh, you're back at the instructional resources, yeah.
Yeah,
And then Project Lead the Way is now, we're in our second or third year. Standing as kids are back there. This year we're doing fourth grade and kindergarten. That John Troy, our tech teacher, and Jackie Timo, library media specialists, they do what was considered their open class. Probably that's a grant to work with in the last few years.
okay. I was gonna say this Flexi Chords is new, right?
Alexia,
This
it's a
thing?
reading intervention for students.
So they, Lexia, this set up in Kingston, I believe, this year.
I know that they're piloting it,
Kingston, right?
We have,
But-
we pay a certain amount of subscription.
but you have some.
Yeah, we have 110 accounts. Two good intervention.
And you do,
programs.
it helps with certain students for support.
And what is this IXL? That is like used in the classroom when they're on their,
Yeah, it's math, science,
so it's just based on this little like blip right here, so it like identifies where the student maybe has some weaknesses and then caters the lesson to, okay,
It's like the old study island. I don't know
I do, I do,
if you remember. It's practice.
It's better.
okay,
You know, you can
yeah.
It's better than school. I use it every day.
Contract teacher uses.
I use it almost every day.
So this, I guess I'm thinking between the conversation that we're having about the PTO having some extra funds, I don't know what dollar amount that is, and this potential of like wanting a band situation and this like enrichment materials, they all seem to kind of be floating around the same dollar amount. So I don't know, I guess, I want to shy away from the PTO, obviously, like putting money towards our operating budget, because that's not what they're there for, but I'm wondering if there's anywhere in here they can pick up the ticket for some of
Enrichment stuff.
enrichment, the first line here, the
Right.
instructional resources line, none of the other stuff, because that's curriculum based.
Right, we need all that, yeah.
But is that even an option, or while we're talking about moving things around in the budget potentially to try to find space to wiggle, or?
Meaning asking PTO or?
Yeah, I mean, if they're putting their feelers out there and telling teachers, we want to know what your wish list is, and, you know, we have money to spend, I don't know what that dollar amount is.
You know, it has been pretty helpful, like with the National Geographic magazines. Dealing in Scholastic News, lots of those different guide and math. A lot of times the PTO, they try and make sure that they're helping at every grade level. So with 7 grade levels, it's sometimes difficult to find
One thing that carries over to,
Yeah, so we tend to try, we've gone to PTO to have us help us out with the subscriptions. It's always not as neat and clean as it is with putting it in her budget. But they have done it in the past. And libraries, they're always helping out us with libraries and things like that.
okay. Just food for thought as we move forward in this discussion, that's all. Thank you for taking the time to do that. I personally don't think we're prepared to vote a final budget number tonight, and not to mention the fact that we have not even met with the finance committee yet, so I don't feel comfortable voting a firm number tonight, do you guys?
No.
I didn't have quorum last week either when I was there. They held the meeting, but they couldn't take any action,
Okay,
so.
it's always a struggle.
Have they contacted us to say when to come in? Okay.
Not that, as far as I know, nothing for me. I should probably reach out, I believe Fred is our liaison, or he's the liaison for us. Maybe I should reach out to him and just CC Melinda and tell them that we're getting close to voting a budget.
Okay.
Is that a warrant in front of you?
Yeah, I haven't gone that far yet. Jeez, Bob.
You didn't sign it yet either.
Well, because I haven't looked at it, but he's being pushy, so he can have it. So I'll sign it
Finish up my
last.
file here.
Okay, well, there you go. Merry Christmas.
Well, you're gonna hand it back, so.
Anybody else have any more detailed questions about the budget as it stands right now? No? So we have to vote it in March, our next meeting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we shall.
And so we shall. Yeah, so in the meantime, though, if you're combing through it and you have any questions, you know, feel free to bounce them off
Yeah.
of any and all of us, as long as we're not violating any quorum, open meeting laws. All right. Do you have anything else?
That's it for me.
So I need a motion to adjourn, I need a motion to open executive session only to return to regular session
You gotta say
for
the-
adjournment.
You gotta say the reason why you wanna go into executive session.
I'm not making the motion, someone else is, so.
Does Gordon want to sign
Yeah,
that?
he does.
Yeah.
He can't
I'll
wait.
make a motion to go into executive session for discussing concerning staff vacancy in AFL-CIO, State Council 41, Local 17 negotiations pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21, subsection A3. To return only to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, now I need roll call. Bob?
Aye.
Yes.
Gordon?
Yes.
Aye.
All right.
That concludes this